Wednesday. It's Wild Card Wednesday. I keep Wednesday as a wild card, whatever I feel like doing. And today it's a whatever Wednesday. Continuing with the Kevin Durant news, more and more of this stuff. I thought about this more, and I'm like, listen, I don't care if they come at us and they say, all right, we want Gary, OG, and picks. Like we said, we'd give them a month ago. I don't care if they come with that. The price has changed, Sean Marks. Fuck that shit. You don't get no picks this time. This is what I'm saying, Masai. If you're doing work with him right now, Bobby and Masai, to try and figure something out to get Kevin out of Brooklyn, you better be making it a smaller package going their way. You better be saying, you know what? The terms have changed, mon frere, that this isn't going to be the same package that you could have gotten a month ago if you just jumped on it. You were greedy back then. Yeah, you were greedy. You should have took it then. You should have took it then. And now maybe the price has changed. That's right. I don't want to give them 4 first-round draft picks after this. Like, why should we help them? Why should we help Kevin's little problem here? It really is Kevin who has the most problem, because the Nets can say, you know what, we're not moving you. We wanted to, we tried, but you hamstrung us because you went and got public about what you wanted to do. If you'd just not been public about this, talk to us privately. We could have tried to work with you, but you have destroyed our leverage in bargaining. We can't get anything for you now because everybody knows you want out and they're trying to fleece us at this point. It is beautiful. In fact, G came in after the stream yesterday and asked me, he's like, do you think Kevin's doing this on purpose? He might be. He might be doing this on purpose. I think that in the beginning, he shut up and he wanted to see if they could just make it work and make it happen. He probably saw the deal with us and he was like, take it, do it. What are you not doing, Sean Marks? Why are you not taking this deal? You get OG and Gary and you get these picks, and it's a great deal. And I want to be in Toronto. So why are you fucking doing it? Why are you telling them no? Why are you telling them you want more? Why are you telling them you want Scottie Barnes? I want to play with Scottie Barnes in Toronto. This is what Kevin's thinking. And he's like, well, fuck, Sean Marks is stopping me from going anywhere because he wants too much. So at this point, he's saying, if you don't move me, I feel like you're incompetent. This is irrevocably broken. I'm going to tell you that right now. Kevin Durant cannot play in Brooklyn this season. And if he is still on contract with them and supposed to be on their team this year, he will probably sit out. I'm not going to lie. I think he has no confidence whatsoever. He has said it. He has no confidence in the GM or the coach of this team. He has no confidence in Ben Simmons. He likes Kyrie. Kyrie's his dude in some ways, but in some ways he doesn't have any confidence in him either. So, wow, what a dumpster fire. What a dumpster fire. Let me see what you guys are saying this morning so far. Good morning to David. Good morning to Tom Duke, saying KD equals more and more not our guy. I think this is so true. Like, even if we just traded OG and Gary and no picks for them, I don't even like that deal at this point. I think Gary and OG are so badass. I love them. They fit with our culture and everything. This is why I'm going to say what I'm going to say about maybe we should pass. But maybe Boston should really think about this. I think this is a good idea for Boston. I think that Boston should trade Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant and, figure it all out. I don't care. Jaylen Brown in the deal somehow going to Brooklyn and Kevin Durant coming back to Boston. I think this is a perfect idea. I think this is a great idea. Some people will say, what, you want Kevin Durant on the Celtics? Are you crazy? I'm like, no, this is great. Seriously. Because there's all kinds of ways they can become a dumpster fire and real quick if they bring Kevin Durant in. Look at it this way. The Celtics are functional. They're actually, built something pretty good right now. They were in the finals last season. Well, you bring Kevin Durant into that, he could destroy everything real fast. It'd be kind of fun to have bookends of Kyrie and Kevin destroying the Boston Celtics franchise at different times. That'd be really fun to watch. And I'm all about it. I want to get my popcorn and sit back and watch that dumpster fire develop in Boston if they go and get him. Because they're the leaders in the odds to get Kevin at this point. I'd love to see a deal where Jaylen Brown is a Brooklyn Net this year. And why is because the Boston fans really do love Jaylen Brown. And this is the thing. Kevin could come in and he's no guarantee in all kinds of things. They're going to be comparing him left and right to Jaylen Brown. And they're going to be second guessing the deal if it happens over and over again. And they're always going to be like, we should have just kept Jaylen. We should have kept Jaylen. And then Kevin gets on Twitter. And then all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. It's the fans versus Kevin Durant in Boston. And I love that. I love that. And listen, the thing about him playing in Boston with Jason Tatum is silly. In fact, I think it's crazy funny because they do not wait. They do not. People think they're going to be a deadly combo. They're crazy. Listen, these two guys are too similar in their game. Like Jason Tatum is kind of a little bit shorter Kevin Durant in some ways with the way he likes to get those spots and shoot. These guys are very duplicitous. Like it would be like duplicated, whatever. And this could be a problem that they may step on toes for roles and stuff like that. It may be like, you know what, you're too similar to me in some ways. Or like, Jason on the down low competes with everybody on the team, and competing with Kevin may be a whole kind of different thing than competing with Jaylen Brown. So I invite you, Boston Celtics, you make that deal. You go get Kevin Durant today. I'd love to see this because you guys are set up pretty good going in the season already, just like we are. And why fuck that up? Why go get Kevin Durant just because he's there? Just because he's unhappy? Just because he can't stay in Brooklyn anymore when somebody needs to save him? You go do it, Boston. You go save him. You go get him. You go and take the risk and go and see what happens this season with Kevin Durant on your roster and stuff like that. See if you're ever even better than last year. I don't know if you will be, and that will be the fun thing about it. Is it, man, that's why I want this so bad. I want Boston to be more of a dumpster fire. And I know Kevin Durant going there, it will happen. It will happen if he goes there. All right, let's see. Tom Duke's got a 5 dinosaur lineup once again. Let's go. Omari, good morning. Good to see you once again. Yep, trivia's on Tuesday. Wednesday is a whatever Wednesday, wild card. I use it flexible just in case, whatever. Thursday, think tank. Friday, freak out. Saturday, share the love club. Sunday, special report, kind of like 60 minutes kind of stuff. And then the Monday memories, that's your whole week of Raptorfreak off-season programming. Every day we got a different theme and stuff like that. So there we go. There's your orientation to how we're doing things here. Tom Duke's telling you, yeah, whatever, Wednesday and stuff like that. All right, let's see. Tom Duke's saying, come help me slow down David S. for trivia next Tuesday. Amari did jump in and get a couple of questions yesterday. So, it's a good first start. That's good for a rookie. First time somebody comes in there, they usually don't get any questions. So that's a good debut appearance. Let's see. G saying Scottie at the Kyle Kuzma runs. Hi, I still second in trivia. Tom, you are slacking. I know. G, you're still holding second. G, that's just how powerful you are as a trivia player. Yeah, let's talk about Scottie real quick. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I wanted to say. That's all. We are laughing, y'all. Raptors Nation is laughing. This man, all right, look, Salt Lake City, this stop, this past couple days, holy crap. The highlights that came out late last night of Scottie at Salt Lake City playing with Kyle Kuzma are phenomenal. Y'all, highly recommend them. Go look at Scottie's Instagram. Go look on Twitter with Scottie Barnes as the tag, and you will start seeing some 360 reverse windmill jams that he's throwing down in the middle of a pro-am game with Kyle Kuzma on the other side. It's Kyle Kuzma's day or something in Utah or so. I don't know what it was. Salt Lake City, Utah. They were running. And once again, Scottie looks like a man among boys. He looks like the biggest, baddest man on the court. He looks way bigger and dominating than anybody. And he looked like it when he was playing. He looked like he was like, I'll take you down to the low post. And I'll just back you down, bully you, and I'm going to shoot right over you. Either that or I'm going to drive right around you and just throw it down. All that kind of stuff was going on in Salt Lake City. And it was fun to see the dueling between Scottie Barnes and Kyle Kuzma. And listen, Scottie was the dominant big dog on the court. He's the guy who's in charge of what's going down on there. I love seeing it. This tour of pro-ams and summer games that Scottie's been doing in the last 2 weeks has been badass and fun. Seeing him at Rico Hines, seeing him at Fresno, seeing him in Salt Lake City now. This is really good. I can't wait to see where he's going next. This is so good. And he looks so impressive. I mean, that's why I'm laughing. That's why I'm saying, let's talk about Scottie Barnes. And I'm just like, gleeful. Like, this is a whole different kind of other level of gleeful than seeing some of the things that he could do as a rookie and during the rookie season. This is a gleeful, like, I can't wait to see what's going to happen because this season is going to be very special for Scottie. I can already tell. And we're along for the ride as Raptor fans in Raptor Nation. And we should just enjoy this. Like, savor and enjoy every moment of this young stars growing up and getting better and better in the NBA and what that kind of impact is going to be for the Raptors. It's going to be huge. It's going to be so huge, guys. In fact, I want to, all right, this is a really cool clip I found on Instagram just now from Rico Hines. I want y'all to hear what he said to these people real quick at practice.
Every time. Greatness builds greatness, guys. Greatness builds greatness. So if I'm walking in here, I'm trying to find him. Motherfuckers that won championships. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find these motherfucking Hall of Famers, and I'm saying, can I talk to you for about 15 minutes? Tell me what you see. What can I do? You know what I mean? How did y'all win a championship? What was y'all doing, Pascal OG? What was y'all doing? You know what I mean? That's what this shit is about.
I love it. I love that. Like he said, he's like, greatness finds greatness, or greatness learns from greatness. He's saying, if you're in a gym, go find the MVP, go find the champions, go find the guys who have been successful and have won, and go ask them, how did you do it? Find out from them. And he's saying, hey, OG, Pascal, how did you guys do that in 2019? I was like, I love that. Rico Hines is such a badass. In fact, I'm going to do the Share Love Club for Rico Hines this week. I know that we've done a lot of the players already, but this man just deserves it. He has not only been such a badass addition to our coaching staff, he has been a beacon of light and hope for all NBA fans across the league, getting to see basketball highlights in the dead of August. And I love that. Thank you, Rico Hines. We're going to celebrate you on Saturday. This is going to be the quickest Share Love Club for anybody who just came to the Raptors, like ever. This is going to be, because he really deserves it. I am so happy the Raptors got Rico Hines involved. And the things I've seen, there were more clips from his runs last week. In fact, we got the Fred VanVleet mixtape finally. I was like, we've been seeing highlights of Scottie, Pascal, Malachi, Gary, Chris Boucher, but we haven't seen Fred at Rico Hines. Where's the Fred highlights? Well, we got them yesterday. They got dropped. Fred had him up on his Instagram showing that he was at Rico Hines, because some people were saying he didn't play there, but he did. And not only did he, listen, Fred was his own kind of dominant at Rico Hines. And it was that Steph Curry, Fred VanVleet range near half court that was showing up at Rico Hines. The man was pulling up and shooting half court shots and draining them left and right. Fred is serious, y'all. He is a serious weapon in this league. And we need to stop slandering him and disrespecting him by thinking about what he looked like at the end of the year with the injuries. I know I sound like a broken record with this, but there really is a big percentage of the Raptors fans out there right now that do not respect Fred correctly. You guys need to start respecting Fred, because he's for real, bro. He can do things that not many players in the NBA can do right now. And we need to cherish and honor and really respect that he is a dude that can pull up and shoot. His range is unbelievable. And it's serious range. It's not like fluky, I make this shot every once in a while range. He makes those shots on purpose and with purpose. The ones that are like 6-7 feet away from the 3-point line. And he was doing it at Rico Hines. And then he was doing a little mixing it up and getting by guys, a nice little touch off the backboard layup. And then this is the other development that is really, really good. Oh my gosh. The footage of him running the pick and roll with Christian Koloko looks nasty. I'm not going to lie. There's stuff that they put up yesterday where he runs a pick and roll and he finds Koloko real easy. Like, you remember Serge and Fred, Kyle and Serge, different people have had good synergy for pick and roll, or having just a really good knack for finding each other and get it to happen. Well, it looks like there's a natural chemistry between Koloko and Fred VanVleet, that some of the passes were advanced. And Koloko got them real easy, and he threw them down. Like, I'm talking about pick and roll alley-oop lobs that look just fantastic. So I really love seeing that synergy between Fred and Christian, that this is a really good sign of something to come. This is really good for Christian's offensive game, that if he can get connected to Fred and really get a good relationship, a good synergy with him, oh my gosh, look out. He'll be setting him up left and right, because he's a great target. He is a great target. Oh, my gosh. Such a great target. All right, let's see. Monique, good morning to you. Always good to see the Raptors superfan, Monique Lawrence. All right, let's keep going. Bow, 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 bow. Tom Duke saying, gee, this is true. I'll do better. David's really been sponging up a lot of the points, and he really got a good lead. He's double you now, G. So you need to if you're gonna get involved, I know you will at some point. We're gonna see how it happens. We'll see how it all works out. That's really what it is. David was very dominant with the DeMar DeRozan trivia yesterday, and that was part of it. Tom Duke's saying, and he's smiling about it. He should. He's earned it. He's done a good job. Tom Duke saying 34 years ago, Oilers traded Gretzky and things will never be the same in the city of champions. Yeah, that's a dark day for Edmonton. That's not a happy day. Wait, you went to the Kings? Ooh, yeah, that's not a happy day for the Oilers. They had a dynasty. They were kicking ass, and he was the man for it. Yeah. Monique saying the diva can stay in Brooklyn. I like this philosophy. I think it's right. I think that Kevin is really like shooting himself in the foot. You want to leave so bad. Well, you just made it so much harder. Like Brian Winders is saying, Brian Winders, he's saying he doesn't think he's going to get moved at this point. And this is what will happen if Kevin doesn't get traded, if it can't happen, if there's no deal that Sean Marks likes enough to do, and he just holds them, Kevin can hold out. He could be a Ben Simmons this year for the Nets. And that could be pretty hilarious in itself, that whole situation. If he holds out, he doesn't come to training camp, he decides he doesn't want to play this year. The crazy thing is there's no end in sight with his contract. So it's not like he can hold out just 1 year and then boom, all of a sudden he's a free agent and then he can go and do other stuff. No, he would have to, they'd really have to be moving to try and still trade him still to make him happy or anything good with their team and stuff like that. This is all very, very good. Brooklyn is an out of control, burning dumpster fire, and they're going to be for this whole season. Their season already is ruined. I mean, it's just how it is. And Boston, we could get your season ruined real quick. If you guys make a deal, I want you to go ahead, make my day. I am Clint Eastwood, and do you feel lucky, punk? Go ahead and make that deal. I would love to see Kevin Durant wearing green because, first of all, that doesn't even look right if you think about it. Kevin Durant in a Boston jersey, it does not look right, and it does not really totally fit in the whole culture of Boston and different things. I'm just going to tell you, he's not a fit, but that would be fun if they went and got him. Omari saying, awesome, rookie of the year. Yes, Scottie Barnes is somebody we should be so proud of. And so, I can't wait to see him on Twitch again because I want to tell him how proud of him I am from all of the domination and the way he's grown up this summer. I want to tell him, Scottie, look, you don't look like the rest of them no more. You're looking like a bigger, badder man than everybody else on the court, and you go with it because I know he loves that. Like when he plays 2K, he's the bully. He likes to take the opponent and bully them in the post and just score on them and then talk shit. He's like, you're the little boy, I'm the big man. He's like, this is the stuff he says in the video game when he's playing. He's like, he says stuff like this. I'm the big boy, you're the little boy, I bully you. And that's what he's doing. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Tom Duke saying, Lex wants to blow up Boston roster with a KD bomb. How about the comment by G on KD not running the team he is traded to? Yeah, not ruining the team. Well, that makes total sense. In fact, part of his demands that's been rumored all along is that if he got traded to Toronto, he wants to play with 3 guys. He doesn't want them traded back the other way. He wants to play with Scottie, he wants to play with Pascal, and he wants to play with Fred. He doesn't want any of those guys going back to Brooklyn in the deal. So this whole time, Nets fans getting all they're like a little kid at Toys R Us 2 weeks before Christmas. I like that one, mommy. I like that one, mommy. I like that one, mommy. Well, you ain't getting none of them, son. Because this is not the realistic thing about the whole deal. Is that look, none of these guys are actually tradable for Kevin because in the first place, Kevin doesn't want them traded from us. He wants them to be here when he comes here. So hopefully it won't happen. I just said that. I'm saying hopefully he does not come here because I really don't want this circus at this point. That he has shown that he is toxic as hell. I don't give a shit if he cares about winning championships. I don't give a shit if he's still a serviceable, good, top 50 all-time NBA player. He is toxic. And he would add toxicity to our team no matter what. We would all be, it would be the same thing. Whatever I described just now, but in the Boston scenario, it would be a similar thing. We would be second guessing the deal the whole time. We'd be like, man, I kind of wish we still had OG and Gary at this point. It would be stuff like that would be going on. He may get hurt and then we don't see him for 40 games of the season and everybody's buyer's remorse and just doesn't like the trade in the end. And then especially if we added those picks that they want, which is really what they want the most in the deals in some ways, is first round picks, we would really regret that. I think we would really regret that. So there's no reason to do this. We're at such a strong place already that I'm pleading and begging with you, Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri, just don't take the calls from Brooklyn right now. There is no reason to bring Kevin here. We do not need him. We have Scottie Barnes. We have Pascal Siakam. We've got OG Anunoby. We've got great players already that can do this. And that, you know, I know some Raptor fans are still trying to figure it out, make the numbers work, make the trade line up and saying, do this, do this. I'm like, no, but at this point, this is done. Like Kevin actually fucked up when he opened his mouth on Monday. He fucked up. And like this, he put himself on the list that I don't want him to come and be a Raptor. He was on a list where I say, okay, getting Kevin Durant would be a great boon. But at this point, I think he's gone to the level of toxicity that we just don't want him. That this isn't a good idea in any kind of way and stuff like that. And just stay away, stay away. We do not want you. Tom Duke saying Giannis looks like a monster for Greece versus Spain. Yeah, he had some good energy over there. Really intense, aggressive, like killing it. Like some really nasty dunks on people and stuff like that. Good for him. Good for Giannis. I know he really enjoys playing with his brothers on the national team. I like when players like him do this because he's a huge player. He doesn't have to go play for Team Greece and do this stuff for them over there. This is fantastic. This is badass when you do stuff like this. This is why I want Pascal and Christian Coloco to go play for Cameroon. Yeah, not France. Fuck that, Joel Embiid, motherfucker. Go play for Cameroon, the real one. Go there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. David S. is saying, I don't really understand why a team like the Raptors or Boston would want KD. As good as he is, it's going to cost probably 3 rotation players and like 4 picks. So in a nutshell, you give up your future. Yeah. Well, that's what Brooklyn did in the first place, getting guys like him and Harden. They gave up their future. Now they want their future back by stealing somebody else's future by getting him unloaded onto them. Not too smart for you. I don't think we're going to do this at this point. And like, listen, it's just like any kind of movie. It's like the parameters of the deal have changed, Sean Marks. That's right. That may have been the deal yesterday, but this is the deal today. And like, I really wish, like, if they're going to make a deal, it cannot have any picks involved at this point. I do not want them sending any of our picks to them and stuff like that. I don't really want them sending Gary and OG over there. I know those are the 2 guys that are involved in the deal. Gary's up at 7 o'clock this morning working out, busting his ass right now. So it's like, why would I want to trade Gary Trent, who's running around in the sand dunes in Miami at 6 a.m. in the morning? Stuff like that. Why would I want to trade that? Why would I want to trade such a badass as OG Anunoby? We know he's just about to flower, open up, and just be such a badass on the court, on both ends of the court. Nah, this is a bad deal, and that's why I encourage, go ahead, Brad Stevens. Go ahead, do it, please. Boston Nation will love you if you get Kevin Durant. Monique's saying, so it's looking more like the Pro-Am games are everywhere. Scotty's in Utah. Yeah, these Pro-Am games are going on everywhere. In fact, there was one in New York this week. This is hilarious. The New York Knicks sent Obi Toppin, Julius Randle, and Jaylen Brunson, pretty much their 3 best players for the season, to a New York Pro-Am, and they lost by 13 points to amateurs. The pros lost to amateurs in New York this week. What is going on with you, New York? Oh my gosh. So it's like there's not a vote of confidence here. This is similar when the Hawks went to Drew League and got their ass beat. Well, the Knicks just went to a Pro-Am and got their asses beat. And that's hilarious to me. Once again, any kind of dumpster fires or problems other Atlantic Division teams are having, yes. Yes. Let me get my teacup and just collect the tears. Because this is amazing. Honestly, these guys had no business losing to a Pro-Am to amateurs in their own city. They're the pros. And that's what I'm saying. Not only losing, but losing by double digits. That means it's not even close. They lost by 13. That is really bad. That is really, really bad. That is shameful in some ways. And New York fans are coming down on them. And that's not a rosy forecast for the season coming up. I'm going to tell you that right now. Jaylen Brunson may not be exactly who you thought you're getting, New York Knicks. And I think that's hilarious. I still think that he has a bonus when he's standing beside Luka Doncic that y'all didn't realize, and that maybe he doesn't have it when he's not with them. Stuff like that. All right, let's keep going. David saying for a good reason or two with KD, maybe. Yeah, you give up your future. I don't think it's worth it. Kevin Durant is such a gamble. I don't know how many more years he has and what it is. G saying Fred looked great as well. Fred looks fit, Tom Duke says. Yeah, Fred looks great. Like, seriously, listen, we cannot doubt him. I really do want to start this philosophy where once you're patched in, you are for real Raptor. Like, you are the badass, like Masai Ujiri, Nick Nurse. We got to just say we trust them because we see that their judgment is sound. They do their jobs well. They take care of what they're supposed to take care of. Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster. We trust in those guys. We trust in Nick Nurse to be an innovative coach that's going to be very smart and very flexible and changing with the game as it progresses to try and make us win as best as possible. We trust in Nick Nurse. Why can't we trust in Pascal and Fred? Well, because they're the main players on the court and, they have success and failure. That there are games where they fail. We lose games because they aren't clutch. They don't make the shots, but we win a lot of games because they are clutch and they do show leadership at the end of the games. The difference between having Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam is that everybody on every team across the league wants players like these guys because they're proven champions. They're winners. And they're also guys that know how to manage the clock to win the game at the end of the game. They know how the rhythm should be. They know how to get the beats right with when they got to make shots, when they got to make stops, how they can control the last 2 to 3 minutes of the game in the fourth quarter is such an essential skill for a team to have. And that this is part of the reason why we had such good success last year is that there were close games. We win close games because we know how to manage the clock. And a lot of that has to do with Fred and Pascal. So as much as they fail at times, they succeed more often. And that is shown in our winning percentage. So I want to ask Raptors Nation this season, and starting right now, trust in Fred VanVleet, trust in Pascal Siakam. That these guys, we malign them. We come down on them when they fail and we miss and we lose games because they miss or something like that. They don't make it. They can't make every single one of them. It's just percentages. So if they're doing pretty good clutch and they're guiding us to mostly wins and they're close and something, they're doing something right. So that's what I'm saying. I want to ask the average Raptor fan to just blindly trust in Fred and realize that he does have our best interests at heart. He wants to win championships. He's not a prima donna. It's not about him. It's about winning and it's about getting Larry O'Brien's. And he is fully invested in that. He is fully invested in that. Oh my gosh. Monique saying it's also on his YouTube, Lex. Go Freddie. Yeah, Fred's got a YouTube channel. I didn't even realize. Like, it just popped up. He's posted. This is the first thing he's posted in like 3 years. So let's just put it that way. So I found Fred's YouTube channel yesterday and I started following it. I'm like, oh, no wonder why I'm not following it. He hasn't posted anything in 3 years until today. So it's very interesting. Random Gamer saying Fred might be the one player on the Raptors that I don't like. He always cooks the Sixers every time we play. Dude turns into Steph Curry every time it's Sixers versus Raptors. Laugh out loud. See, there you go. There's another reason to love Fred, guys. He's a thorn in the side of Sixers fan. Sixer fans just came in here and told us just straight up. He said, Fred, I don't like Fred because he burns us. He makes me think he's like Steph Curry East when he's playing against us and stuff like that. That is not a bad thing to have. Let me say right there, respect Random Gamer and always good to see you, my friend. Tom Duke saying, Random, nice one. Only thing people keep criticizing is Fred VanVleet not being 6'9". He is a chameleon, our leader, so much more than a 6'1" point guard. Yeah, and even Nick has said, like he said it in Hungary, he said that Fred, you shouldn't count him as a little guy. He can guard big players. He guards centers all the time and switches. So it's really not, the fans can look at it a certain way. All right, he's not part of our 6'9" vision because he just isn't 6'9". But in some ways, he fits. If there's any kind of guard that's going to fit with our 6'9" vision, it's Fred. Just because he has a combination of real strength and really high basketball IQ. That those are two things that allow him and give him a pass that get him into our system no matter what. There's no denying Fred is an excellent defender. That in some ways he's been kind of overlooked and not really paid attention to for his defensive abilities. that there are some things that he does on defense that are absolutely badass. And other teams will tell you what it is. It's the stripping the ball, it's being annoying. It's just being really smart about seeing opportunities on the court and going for them and messing people up. You lay off him and he's bringing the ball up the court. You give him too much room, he'll just pull up right there and he'll hit a three over you. And you're like, whoa, wait, I thought I was covering him. You weren't close enough. He just hit one right over your head and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. We need to look at Fred for everything about him and stuff like that. And once again, Raptor fans that just want a player to dump on, go dump on players from other teams. Don't dump on our own players. We want to be supportive and helpful and encouraging to our own players. You can dump on Kevin Durant all you want. Dump on Jason Tatum all you want. I'm all about that. But yeah, stop dumping on Fred, Pascal, whoever, that Khem Birch. It doesn't matter. Any of our guys, just stop, please. A random gamer is saying, true, y'all got a real star at point guard. There's rankings coming out right now for different people are saying ranking the best players in the league. And Fred is in a lot of people's top 50. You see Pascal somewhere in the top, near the top 15. Somebody had him at 17. I'm like, well, this guy was an all NBA player last year. He should be in the top 15 players in the whole NBA. That's what I think. I think that in some ways, Pascal may show more strides this year that will really get him cemented into the topic of who are the most dominant offensive players in the league. That hopefully the combination of Scottie blossoming beside him and them really playing off each other will just become so OP, overpowering for the whole league, that it'll just be undeniable that they'll have to say that Pascal is one of the premier scorers and unstoppable offensive players in the league, because he has already been that. It's just that they don't want to give him his flowers or his credit. But this year, if he has like a little bit of an incremental step up in his stats and the way he is dominant in games, they will have to pay attention to him. I'm serious and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think that like Fred is, people fear Fred. Coaches know what Fred does. And that was one of the things, like, it was funny during the series with Philadelphia in the playoffs. It was kind of like this weird thing where, like, you guys, like the Sixers fans were kind of like, yeah, sit Fred, please sit Fred. And the Raptors fans were like, yeah, please sit Fred. Everybody was saying, please sit Fred for different reasons. We were saying it because we felt like he was hurting us because he wasn't fully healthy. And, we could do better with somebody that wasn't as hurt as him with his knee. And meanwhile, Sixer fans were like, yeah, sit Fred, because we don't want his dangerous weapon out there and stuff like that. So both people, like, we had our reasons for wanting Fred to miss games against the Sixers. And the Sixers nation had their own reasons also on the other side. So very interesting. Excuse me. Lolita, good morning. Always good to see Lolita. Please, no more Kevin Durant drama. Trade him already. Not to Raptors. We are good. This may get dragged out long time. Like this, there's no, like, listen, he put their feet to the fire this week, but he may have backfired. It may have made it even harder for them to move him. And that makes this even more uncomfortable. That makes this even more like, it's like you break up your girlfriend, but you have a lease and you're like, you kind of have to live together still, but it's that kind of thing that's going on here. And yeah, not to us. One of the things I will say, Lolita, is that the Vegas odds are showing that we're dropping. It's the odds makers are saying for a possible place to come, him to land. Right now, the odds are saying that he's most likely to stay in Brooklyn, with Boston being second. And I think Phoenix is actually above us. Actually, who has a really good trade package for Brooklyn and could be the dark horse in making a deal with them is New Orleans. That it very much could be that Kevin is a Pelican in the season coming up and Brandon Ingram is a net. So that could be that may be the most realistic deal if Boston doesn't like take the bait and do a deal with them. I think that some people are wanting Boston to do it. It'd be a big thing, it'd be really great for marketing as far as like Kevin Durant's on the Celtics, LeBron's on the Lakers, boom, 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 that kind of stuff. But it may be the best place at this point that could work out for the Nets and for the other team would be the Pelicans. And I don't think it's us at this point. I think it will way too much hurt us that we have such good vibes going. Like, look, Gary and OG were at Rico Hines all last week with all the rest of the guys. That synergy, that built up camaraderie and teamwork and teammate stuff. We don't want to mess with that. And like these guys are in, they are committed. Go ahead, mess with that Boston. Somebody else mess with their roster by getting Kevin Durant, not us. That's what I'm saying. Monique's talking about Open Gym had another short release yesterday on Eric Curry. And it was about him getting the job for 905 as the head coach and talking about his journey. It's just really cool. He's driving down the street. He's like driving and he's like sees, oh, that person has a Raptors bumper sticker. He's like, they must, oh, all right. He's like, all right. I was like, he's a cool dude. I like Eric Curry. He really has a real journey within the Raptors organization. I love the old clip of them in practice, and Nick Nurse is still an assistant and they're being goofy. I forget which player they're talking to. I think it was like Amir or somebody. And but it's really old Raptor clip. And Eric Curry is just an interesting person. I want to see how the 905 do this year. And of course, a lot of that will have to do with how much Coloco's down there. I think that if Coloco was on that team for the whole year, they will be very dominant and they will be one of the top teams in 905. That is probably going to be the biggest deciding factor for our success on the 905 level this year is how much Coloco's playing and how much he can do down there. I think he can do a lot. He could be very dominant. Like we looked and saw what Chris Boucher did on that level a few years ago. And this is a guy who's a little bit bigger and a little bit better at certain things than Chris is around the rim. So I'm really interested to see, like, this is the thing. Coloco could be in 905 and he could get like 6 to 10 block games on the regular. That's what I'm expecting on that level from him. Monique's also saying news and notes. Mark Stein reported the NBA schedule will be out by next week. Oh, thank God. I'm just waiting. I know Monique's the same. We've been saying this. We plan our whole fall around the NBA schedule. So when we don't have the schedule, we can't make any long-term plans. So please just put it out, NBA. We want to know when the Raptor games are coming up. We want to know when to look forward to our guys being back on the court playing. Patrick Douglas is saying dynastic domination. Get used to Raptors winning games, not sports highlights. Trust is earned, and they have earned our respect and trust. That is a big part of it. And that is such a hard, tenuous thing to deal with. Like, even with the Boston Celtics, they did so well, but they lost in the finals. There's a little bit of a mistrust and kind of like, you did it, but you didn't. That kind of thing. It's really tough. You have to really win. You have to be a proven winner and you have to continuously win. If you start to fail and then it's like, and it's really good that the Raptors have built such a positive winning inertia in their culture that's really important because that is the thing that can get your fans not really like trusting your team that they're a winner or they're feeling good. Like Brooklyn fan can't feel that good right now. They can't feel that positive or like assured that this is going to be a good season for them. Meanwhile, we look at what's going on in our terrain with our team and we're like, yeah, we feel real good about the season. Can we start it tomorrow? We would love to just start playing right now. We would love to. So yeah, I get it. Patrick's right. It's like trust is earned. And the Knicks have no trust with their fans and things like that. We have built a lot of good trust with our fans. So our fans should be like that. That's why when we have Toronto sports fans that are a Blue Jays fan, Leaf fan, and a Raptors fan, don't treat the Raptors like you treat the Leafs. The Leafs are a team you can kind of not trust at times. Like, I don't totally trust the Leafs in the first round. Well, don't do that to the Raptors. And seriously, there was that kind of energy for the playoffs this past year when we're playing Philadelphia. It's like, don't bring that stigma or those worries that you have about Leaf teams to the Raptors because this is a totally different animal than things like that. And we have different people and personnel to trust and stuff like that. Monique's saying 2023 will be an interesting offseason for the Raptors because of financial reasons. Something to discuss, Lex. Yeah, that's next summer. We will obviously be looking towards this as the season goes on, but hopefully not too soon. This may be something that I cover a lot in the offseason next year, but it is true. There's going to be a lot of contracts that are going to come up, and we're going to have to make some decisions, and they're going to be a little tough in different ways, but who knows? Once again, trust in Bobby and Messiah that they will make the money work, and they will retain the right people, and we will do exactly the right thing for next summer. to continue to make the Raptors the best version of the Raptors they can be and stuff like that. So, Random Gamer saying Fred is easily a top 5 defensive point guard, maybe even top 3. I would trust Fred on defense more than annoying Patrick Beverly. Like, listen, Steph Curry is an amazing player. He's changed the game. He revolutionized the game because of his 3-point shooting. But in a lot of ways, he's not that good of a defender. Like, if you put them together, like Fred versus Steph, as far as defense, it's interesting. There's a lot of graphs like on Twitter this summer that people are putting these bar graphs, line graphs, and they like, this is this stat on this line and this stat on this line. And Fred has been showing up in the top corner in the best places on these graphs, and a lot of them. Like, as far as like his defense mixed with his shooting or whatever graph it is, we see Fred show up very good in these statistical graphs. His face is always up in the very positive corner, positive on both attributes of whatever the graph is showing, stuff like that. So he really is unsung. In some ways, he's just disrespected, kind of like he's always been disrespected for being too short, not being big enough, not being able to play. He's heard that all his life, and he's just beating it every single time. And I think that, if his mentor is Kyle Lowry, and we're looking at what Kyle Lowry went through at the end of the season with the Miami fans and people not, doubting him. Oh, he's hurt. Pat Riley says some shit. They were dumping on him. And instead of him getting mad at them, he took it and he said, well, I'm just going to prove you guys on the court. And I think that if he's the mentor to Fred, we could just apply that to Fred also. That if there were a lot of people saying, oh, Fred, we don't need Fred. Oh, he's hurt. He heard all that noise from Raptor Nation and stuff like that. Well, that may mean that he's like Kyle and that he has something to prove. And that he's not going to say anything about proving it. He's just going to go out there and prove it in the game. And I love that. If that's part of the legacy of the teachings of Lowry to Vanvleet, that's great. That's a great characteristic. Let your game do the talking. Get out there. People are maligning you. People putting you down. People saying they're not respecting who you truly are. Go out there and remind them, is what I'm saying. I think he will. I really do think he will. Monique saying the chatter Bobby Marks is saying on KD is silly. Anyone see it? I don't know. Bobby Marks, is he related to Sean Marks? I don't think he is. But if he is, that's a little bit of a sticky situation as far as like, collusion or like, I don't know, helping or something. I don't know. I don't listen to any of them. In fact, I saw a clip out randomly on my Twitter feed yesterday of Jalen Rose and Jalen and Jacoby, and Jalen looks like Scuba Steve. He's wearing like these scuba goggles. I don't even know what's going on with those guys. I don't pay attention to any of those ESPN talking heads. The only one I listen to now at this point is Brian Winders, because that man is factual and he's putting those fingers in the head. He's like, well, if this is this way, then I can deduce that this is this. And I'm like, he's pretty sound with his deducing. So I'll listen to Brian Winders. I'll listen to JJ Redick. I'll listen to Kendrick Perkins to an extent. And then the rest of them, I just don't have any time for them. None of them. Most of them are all idiots and stuff like that. So, G saying Raptors Twitter apparently put out a post with a photo of Pascal saying something like, hope everyone sleeps well. And it's throwing fans into frenzy. Probably about the schedule coming out is my guess. I don't know. I didn't see that. I'm not worried about Pascal. Listen, I'm not worried about any of our guys. They're fully invested and in on our team. It could be that he's worried. Like, listen, he knows that they won't trade Scottie for KD, and it doesn't make any sense. It never did. Like, Scottie's contract is so small. It's a rookie contract. There's no money that would add into the pool of going the other way, so it would just really be stupid. So Scottie's absolutely off the table. Now, Pascal, on the other hand, he could be a big chip. And what that means is it's like trading Pascal and one of our lesser guys. Instead of it being like OG and Gary and then maybe Kem or Thad and picks, it would be like Pascal and then either Kem or Thad and picks instead. And I don't know. I hate this. I like to think that Pascal's untouchable also. That would just be a stupid move. But if Pascal's saying stuff like that, maybe being ominous and stuff, I don't like hearing that. But, he's at Rico Hines. He looked real good. He's with all his teammates. There's no reason to think otherwise. And, I don't think that anything's going to happen with us. I'm crossing my fingers. Seriously. That's the whole topic of today. Don't do it, Raptors. don't do it. Just stay the course. Just keep your guys and your car going down the road with who you have in the car. Don't stop at the side of the road and pick up this straggling hitchhiker named Kevin Durant. There's no reason to let him get in the car with us and then have to leave. Like, this dude has long legs. He might have to take a couple seats from other people in the car, and they'll have to get out and wait and not be in the car with us anymore. I don't like that. We don't like that. G's saying it was Raptors Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, so I can't confirm. I didn't see anything with Pascal that's weird or anything on there. Honestly, let me see. Let me just look for sure, because I mean, Pascal is pretty patched in. I mean, he's got the Masai Ujiri seal of approval. He's got yeah, why do they have these stupid like fake accounts? There's a tweet here that says ESPN's reporting Mavericks have agreed to contract extension with Pascal Siakam per sources. This is like some fake bot thing that just generates random crap. This is like, that doesn't make any sense. Man, anyway, I don't see anything that you guys are saying about that. I'm seeing a lot of other stupid stuff on here though. Okay. One thing I did want to say real quick is Josh Lewenberg has some cool stuff about the Kevin Durant stuff right now with some perspective on this. And it really kind of illustrates how Kevin Durant is a snake and stuff like that. Like, all right, he has a tweet here that says, summer of 2019, Kevin Durant signs with Sean Marks-led Nets. Summer of 2020, Kevin Durant vouches for Steve Nash. Summer of 2021, Kevin Durant signs $200 million extension with Marks and Nash-led Nets. Summer of 2022, burn them all. He wants to, yeah, that's the craziness. Like, he set this all up for it. And then this part here that he said here is Lewenberg saying, I'm old enough to remember when this is a thing, something from a couple years ago. They believe they found that coach in Steve Nash, the legendary point guard whose basketball acumen and communication skills have always been revered around the league. His relationship with Durant, though, likely played a huge role in getting him the Nets job. The two worked together in Golden State, where Nash was a part-time consultant, and in an appearance on J.J. Redick's Old Man in the Three podcast, he blessed the hire by raving about Nash's basketball acumen. His insight for the game, his communication, how he communicates a game of basketball is definitely going to help me as a player develop, and it's going to help the rest of the team, Durant said, as transcribed by ESPN. So this is just him, like, in the last 2 years. That's just how much of a snake that Kevin Durant is and stuff like that. Like, listen, like, you know, you could say you want to get traded, but don't do it. It's a him or me kind of thing in this situation. It's funny because some Brooklyn fans are saying just fire them and make Kevin happy. That's not the way to build a healthy franchise. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's not the way to do it. Maybe you fire one of them. Maybe that's what you do. All right, Kevin, I can't fire both of them, but I'll fire one of them just as a sign of good faith for you. Fire Sean Marks, keep Steve Nash, and just get a new GM. I don't know, stuff like that. Naco the Nachos here, he's saying, I've seen more don't trade Pascal than don't trade Scottie takes. That's good. So they're both saying that. That's really, really good. That, yeah. I don't think Raptors fans, I think we're smart enough at this point that we see the shiny ooh of Kevin Durant, and we know that it's not really that good of a product, that it's not the thing that we think we're going to be getting, that it's not going to be like the, you know, listen, it could mean that the ESPN media machine and NBA and the US looks at us as a real contender if Kevin Durant's on our team all of a sudden, then they start talking about it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we're any better off getting a championship this year, like where we are already. And that's the interesting thing about the whole situation is they'll go crazy and they'll say, oh, the Raptors are going to be a championship contender because they got Kevin Durant. Well, we're already a championship contender. You just don't want to say that. Good morning to my brother, Carl. He's going to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers tonight. Yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I like pleasure mixed with pain, and learns music is my aeroplane. Is my aeroplane. Yeah. I know a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers songs. They have their song that came out this year. They have one good video this year that was so good. I forget how it goes, but it's really good. I might post it in the comments. You guys can see the Red Hot Chili Peppers video. It's pretty good. But have fun at the concert and just have a good time. I really appreciate going to the concert with you earlier this summer. I miss you, my brother. I love you. and tell the rest of the family, and do a good job this weekend helping out the folks and stuff like that. I know you will do there. I wish I could be there, but it's not going to happen. Nako's saying, if I had to fire one, it'd be Nash. He ain't a championship coach. Yeah, I didn't want to say that because I'm kind of friends with Steve Nash. Well, I was back in the day as somebody I hung out with, and he's a cool dude. I don't want to do that to him. So I was like, just fire Marks. But you might be right that the person that actually may deserve to be fired is Steve Nash. But you know what? It's not even totally his fault. He got a team with big time divas, big time tough players. These are not easy players to coach, I'm sure, Kyrie and Kevin. So it's that kind of thing. It's like he was set up to fail in some ways. Like he absolutely had to be successful. Everything else would be a failure with that kind of roster and that kind of talent stuff. And I don't think he was savvy enough. I think that maybe he needed to be more on the assistant coach and that kind of stuff and getting better in that way before he jumped into being just the head coach. Like, I think that's the problem. I think he should have worked his way towards it and then maybe he'd be better, because I don't know. This is the thing. If you're a rookie head coach, you don't have experience. You don't have that thing. Like Nick Nurse is different because Nick Nurse was a head coach on so many different levels. And then he was assistant coach for the Raptors for 8 years before he became the head coach. So it wasn't like he was totally a rookie head coach in the NBA when we won the championship. Now, Steve, he didn't really do any of that other than a little bit of consulting with Golden State that we just talked about. I don't remember him ever being on a bench as somebody's second as an assistant head coach. And that may have been the logical step for him first, that he shouldn't have just jumped right into being the head coach. That's just way too much pressure. That's too much that he needed to learn. He may have been smarter coming to the Raptors and being assistant head coach under Nick Nurse and learning from him underneath him. And then he would be maybe a really great coach in 2 or 3 years of being under Nick Nurse and seeing how he does things. So there's a lot of problems there. It was a flashy name hire. And it didn't really, I knew at the time, I was like, this sounds good, but this doesn't mean it's good. It's not, it probably won't be good, honestly. Banana Bread Tan, good to see you. It's been a little bit. I'm happy with keeping the team as is. Masai and Bobby have vision and execution. That's right. Let's execute any more of these trade talks. Just execute them on the guillotine and let the heads roll away and just go away. Because I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to even be involved with this. Monique is so sick of this. She's so sick of Kevin Durant's name. In fact, we may have some more animosity towards Kevin Durant just because of all this bullshit this summer. I'm not going to lie. G saying, I hope the era of teams caving into superstars' requests is over. They're trying to make players happy, then thrown under the bus when it doesn't work out. They need to trust their front office. Well, that's just part of how you don't build a dumpster fire. You don't get these kind of players in the first place. You don't buy into their charms and super talented skills and things like this. You don't take them at their word because some of them are not going to be very honest. We look at the different ways and different things that players have done to show leverage, and it's usually just sitting out for the year. Kawhi, Ben Simmons, probably Kevin Durant this season. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And G, I think you're right. I think this would be better if this is going more and more in this direction. You see good superstars like Giannis and the way they handle things with their franchise, the trust and things like that. He is such a good role model for how a superstar should act in the NBA, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I think that that's true. I think that hopefully it'll change. And partly it's just because some of these guys are, the NBA maybe be weeding more of these knuckleheads out of the league quicker because they're problems. Like these young guys like Bridges and Charlotte, you're probably not in the NBA anymore because you're a knucklehead and you beat up your girlfriend in front of the kids and stuff like that. They'll find their ways out of the league on their own sometimes just from being a knucklehead. Well, maybe teams are just they've seen Kyrie and Kevin, the way they act, and they're like, you're not that attractive. The trade value is not that good. And now teams are starting maybe before they get even these players, they're like, maybe we should think twice about doing this because it's really going to mess us up. And I hope you're right. I hope that we're going more and more towards things. I want the players to have leverage. I want the players to have power. Don't get me wrong. It's just some of them have abused that power, and some of them have kind of like messed things up for other guys in some ways because of the way they've acted and stuff like that. But I am very much on the side of the players. If we're going to start talking about unions and owners versus players and stuff, I'm on the players' side when it gets down to it. But you can't make excuses for egregiously bad behavior and like, stuff like what Kevin's doing right now. Nako saying, of course, I'm not trying to imply he doesn't deserve a place as a coach in the NBA. Hey, no slack or flack off the back. I was trying to shield Steve, but it is probably maybe him. It probably is maybe him. But listen, doesn't mean they could fire Steve Nash today and they could hire another coach. It doesn't mean it's going to be any better. In fact, I don't even know what good coaches are out there and available that would kind of fit what Brooklyn needs right now, which is a very stable, established, winning coach that people will respect, like Kyrie and Kevin will respect. And then also that caliber of coach. Is it attractive for any of those kind of caliber coaches to go to Brooklyn right now? I don't think so. So it's just not going to match up in that way either. They really do need a strong coach that has a reputation and a respect that will be respected. But I don't know if they'll be able to find one or one that's willing to come there and try and deal with the dumpster fire and stuff like that. Marlon Toby, good to see you. It's been a little bit. Always good to see you, my friend Marlon. Good morning. I'm reading an article here on a blog site, Raptors Rapture, that Jerry West wanted to T-Mac to pair with Kobe, but Dr. Buss said no deal. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that would have been a nice combo. That would have been similar to what we had with Vince and T-Mac, I guess, in some ways. If Kobe and Tracy McGrady were on the Lakers, and that would have been around when Shaq showed up in the early 2000s. Wow, that's a brain exercise, and that's crazy. That's pretty interesting information. And it's always fun to kind of hear things that could have happened that didn't in kind of weird ways and stuff like that. Monique saying, agree. Banana Bed Chan, thank you for bringing it up. Yes. And G saying, imagine paying a player $200 million and they do this. He should have not signed that contract. He wasn't happy, but he wanted the money first, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Kevin. You liked your situation in Brooklyn. Well, what changed between wanting to do this? Did things not, you didn't really think about the future there or how things could go or any kind of way that things could swerve off the road and be a problem, whether it's like a pandemic and Kyrie's vax, James Harden, whatever you want to blame. Yeah, this is the problem is that he signed the contract. You make a contract with a contractor at your house doing work in your house. There's terms to it that you fulfill. Kevin's not fulfilling his contract as a contractor with his team. And that's fine with me. I want him to sit out for the season. I want him to not get traded. If he does get traded, I want him to go to Boston. But if he doesn't get traded, this is great. This is absolutely great. There's all kinds of reasons why it's great. Brooklyn will be a real problem for them. It'll be a serious problem for them if Kevin's a problem and he's still lingering and hanging around and continuing to be a problem all year. This will be just like last year and how Kyrie screwed them up. It'll be the same kind of thing. They'll be getting screwed up this way. He has no confidence in anybody around him. So why will he even show up and play? I'll bet you he won't. I bet you he will not. Oh my gosh. All right, let me see. Is there anything else I wanted to cover today? Not really. Just in recap, Raptors, stay away from a Kevin Durant deal at this point. There's no point in doing it. It's going to hurt us more than it could possibly help us. I really do believe that at this point. That Kevin has kind of gone to a new level of nuclear toxicity. And that, it may be cooled off and we may be able to make him have a happy soft landing here, but there could be unforeseen other problems with him being in here. That we got the right recipe for success with the ingredients that we have in our stew right now. And it's so beautiful and bubbling up and smelling so nice. Why do we want to throw that extra goulash in there or something like that and mess up the taste of what we're cooking? And I ain't about that. Go ahead and let Boston possibly make that decision and see what happens to them. I'd rather them take the risk and possibly become a dumpster fire alongside the Brooklyn Nets also. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the Nets are going to be garbage this year no matter what happens to them. If they trade him or they don't trade him, they're going to be in trouble and stuff like that. So Let's see. Random Gamerson. I don't see KD sitting out if he isn't traded. He can't afford it if he wants to be looked at as a true champion and an all-time great. He has to play this season. He's 34. That's a very good point, Random Gamer. I think you're right. I think that the clock is ticking and that he will begrudgingly. But that's the thing. You know how it is when you work a job and you don't really want to be there. You know how it is when you go in and you do your work and you don't necessarily want to be there. We know that because of Vince Carter in his last year in Toronto. Is like, yeah, that may not be the same kind of effort. There may not be the same kind of desire to succeed. But then again, it's like, do you play just to go through the motions, not give a shit? I don't know. I don't know what Kevin will do. This will be very interesting to see. I hope in some ways they don't figure it out because I really do want to see this team have problems. Canadian Cowboys here. Forget Durant. We got everybody we need. That's exactly right. We really do got everybody we need. All right, guys. Thanks for watching me today. If you enjoy my content, please hit the subscribe button. Tomorrow we'll do a Thursday Think Tank where all of us get in the hive mind and talk about Raptors-related subjects and think about the best things in the future for the team and stuff like that. So please join me 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the morning. Thank you, David S. Thank you, Tom Duke, everybody else, all the regulars, Monique, Marlon, Toby, Canadian Cowboy. Have a great day also. And Carl, have a good time at the Red Hot Chili Peppers tonight. That's fun. Shane Waters saying, happy Wednesday. The next time we're talking about KD, I hope it's about your dinner. This shit is starting to irk me. Dap. Shane Waters, I hear you. I know. I'm sick of it too. This is my third Kevin Durant stream. And it's just because it's been changing. This is another change to things. This horrible, stupid thing that he did to the Nets on Monday. It's hilarious. I love it. Standing afar, we're standing on the other side of the street watching that dumpster just burn away. Brennan Bretan saying, perception is not reality. I was more so talking about trusting what we have in our management. When you think about who Masai surrounded himself with, there's a mindset that is built in. Yeah, it's the culture. And it's just like-minded people all working towards the same goal in concert and working together, not against each other, not pulling, any of that kind of stuff. Everybody's putting all their energy in their right roles and putting it towards getting that ultimate goal together. And that's a really important way to build your team. And that's the secret that a lot of these teams aren't realizing. Or they're just trying to, we've talked about this on Sunday, how not to build a dumpster fire. All right, Evelyn. Thumbs up to Evelyn and so many hearts. All right, guys. Appreciate all y'all. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go, Raptors!